My best friend to 23. She left her body and hovered above me. I saw no shadow, I looked around, searched every building and home that I found. I saw no shadow, but felt the glow. The warmth inside me, it kept me afloat. It felt like heaven that found my bones and gave me comfort when I feel alone. Now you're gone, I'm alone. I guess it's time to get better. Through the pain, I will go alone. If I fall, break my bones, I will scream even louder. 'Cause I'm not dying alone. I lost my best friend to 23. She left her body and hovered above me. My best friend to 23. I heard the heavens crying above me. They gained an angel, I lost a friend. I felt like dying again and again. I went through hell, stared at death, but I keep fighting with each living breath. I saw no way out from where I stood. Felt like the fire had burned me through. Now you're gone, I'm alone. I guess it's time to get better. Through the pain, I will go alone. If I fall, break my bones, I will scream even louder. 'Cause I'm not dying alone. I lost my best friend. Inside your self-righteous symphony, I would rather let this go than to bring it up again. But
Oh, what's up, nerds? Welcome to our show. It's Thursday. Paul's back. You didn't know he was gone, but he's here. He's actually been in Vegas for work all week. How was that? I didn't even get to ask you before we started the show. This is the first time I've seen you in a while.
Yeah, it was a lot, and I didn't party that much. It was for 100 strictly for work, so I was like basically.
Don't you just hate it?
Yeah, I was up. I did find a diaper in an elevator. I was up for
as you should in Vegas.
Yeah, I was getting up at like 5:30 or 6 every day, working out for like an hour and a half. They had a very nice gym, like a CrossFit gym with like powerlifting equipment. It was outstanding.
Nice.
And then I wasn't Wes Matt was like, you're not even sunburned. I'm disappointed. I wasn't even outside. Like I legitimately would get up every day. At like
everything was in that hotel.
Yes. And then I had meetings from 8 o'clock to midnight, basically like every day straight. I think I had very almost no downtime. I only got to FaceTime my family like once or twice. And then I talked to Tyler. I'm going to say his name wrong. It's like Kyukin or longtime listener.
Hadouken?
Yes. Hadouken. Fist up. But very nice young man. Did not get a chance to actually connect with him, but he was actually at the same hotel as me.
No way.
Nice. We chatted, and I actually had time set aside for him. I was like, okay, I put a reminder on my calendar. I was like, leave 10 minutes early, like go. And then I just got pulled into something. So I actually reached out to him. I said, oh, sorry. So I got to hook him up with something, but it was a lot of fun. I'm very, very, very glad to be home and to sleep in my own bed. I'm not a Vegas person. Like, it's fine.
You know Vegas?
No, it's like you're gonna like you set your money on fire. It just doesn't sound fun. And then I don't know.
So Rockablades is saying you're quiet. Paul's probably quiet because he's been working and schmoozing all week.
I've literally been talking for 6 days straight.
Yeah, it's not his mic. Yeah.
How do I sound now? Am I more normal now? I sound loud to me now.
If you could just make out with your microphone, that'd be
I'm inside my microphone.
Hey, it's all good, man. So yeah, and like I get that because I was in San Diego just like a month ago, and then I was in West Palm Beach like 2 weeks ago, all work related. I think I touched the beach in West Palm Beach for like 10 minutes, caught an Uber, went to the airport, left. So I feel it, man. But you know what? We're not here to talk about this nonsense. No, we're here to talk about taking our gloves off and duking it out. We might disagree on a lot of things, you guys. We got 50 topics for today, but they're all related to underrated, overrated. And did anybody catch when I posted the picture that I put overrated under Paul's head?
Yeah. Oh, weird
how that worked out.
We should have put us as a category to be rated.
Oh, I should have. Burly fishing.
We still can. We can delete 2 of these off here.
We could delete a lot of stuff. Totally overrated. So there you go. Chat, you can decide who's overrated and underrated in the 2 of us. I'm going to go ahead and just make it easy. Camera guy
Chaz is underrated.
Chaz is underrated. Then camera guy Paul's underrated. I'm overrated. It's easy.
Regular Paul, way overrated.
Regular Paul is totally overrated. You guys, you don't get him often, and there's a reason. All right, so we're gonna get into it. Let's get some juices flowing. We got to cue the D. Actually, real quick before we hit that, I do got to hit this. We do have t-shirts that are dropping very soon. We have a members only live that is coming up on Tuesday,
17th.
The 17th, which is next week, in which we're going to reveal the final design, and we're going to share with them a link very soon on where they can sign up for their shirt. They get it for free if they are on the Snorlax crew. So if you're hanging out on the Shark Deucers, I would highly encourage you to spend $4 to get yourself a t-shirt by upgrading to the Snorlax crew level. And if you're not a member, you can click join below. You can check it out. Also, super chats are on, and you can support the show if you want to. We appreciate it because we're 2 very tired dads, and we're here to work for you because we love you.
The most accurate description. Like that should have been the name of the podcast.
2 tired dads was almost it was almost the name of the podcast. All right, so far I'm winning the overrated category, although Paul is making a comeback. This is great. Thanks, Shots. You know what? Let's start out the show by feeling really good or really bad about ourselves.
Somebody's gonna feel like crap.
If you could just Tyler Hadouken us right in the face.
God.
All right. So I do have a Q of the D, and I took the liberty of writing the show today because my boy was flying today. Lots of stuff going on, but let's get into this thing. So I thought this was a fun question, y'all, and chime in the chat too after you post your poll answer and destroy me in there. 47%. Come on, guys. Wow. All right. So what is the best thing that you could lose from your boat? Look at your boat right now as it stands. You have to lose one item, and it's not your boat, but one item from within the boat is lost, gone for good. You don't have a choice. What's it going to be?
This is pretty easy, actually. The empty bottle.
All right.
It didn't take much.
One thing from your boat that's not in the front cargo space.
I know. I was waiting for that.
Good one.
Yeah. Good. I was waiting for that.
Way to really stick it to me. The overrated Burly.
Overrated answer is the water bottle. I will say if I was going to lose something, it would be the scale.
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, because it's like if you go through the whole boat, everything but what our front cargo space, you're gonna find like empty water bottle, like rain gear, like
backup stuff,
tools, random stuff that's pretty cheap. Maybe a small bag of plastics. So the rest
scales
of
are expensive. I would love to do a whole video on scales because I feel like there's only one or two maybe really good scales out there, and I actually don't know what they are.
I don't either.
That is the worst. Those bottle opener Rapalas are trash. I hate
the Rapala. Yeah, the Rapala scale is trash, and it's $50 or $60. And it's funny that I've wound up with the only working scale I have is a Guggen scale, and I have to like tape over it for MonsterBass videos.
The irony.
It's so funny, but it's green and it matches my boat, so whatever. I like the scale answer. So not to say the same answer, I would say it'd have to be like, oops, I'd rather lose a tackle box probably than a fishing rod.
Oh, yeah. What about braid scissors? What about the braid scissors?
They're like attached to my life jacket.
But they get clipped out. I have many backups. Yeah. That was my other answer. Because I have
lost pliers and I've lost rod holders. A rod holder's not a bad one either.
I don't like to lose pliers.
It's not
I would rather lose the scissors.
Yeah, the scissors I'd be fine with, or a rod holder. Because I've also done
holder.
Yeah. Like let's say you take the rod holder to turn it and you just go oopsie daisies because I've done that.
Yeah, that can go $18.99 Amazon replacement.
I lost a Railblazer setup.
What about those are 25? What about just like a crankbait? Does that count? Like just like
crankbait, just a bait? Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I took 50% overrated. I crushed you guys. You dorks. You can't compete with my overratedness.
Jeff, way to go, Jeff, for taking the positive spin on that L.
I won the best loser award.
I'm the biggest loser. Eat.
Wow. Thanks, fam. Thanks a lot. We'll just be changing this to Paul's Fishing Podcast immediately.
Camera Guy Paul's
Fishing Podcast. Okay. Well, that was a fun question. And I also saw David Eller said, I would like to lose the skunk, which is great answer. Not allowed. Or who's underrated? We already know. You won.
That one's
Chaz,
easy.
You were 20%.
Look at Chaz just digging for a compliment.
No, he wants me 100% Chaz. He wants me.
I did that. That was
get hit again. Most underrated. Definitely not Jeff.
Yeah. All right, welcome Debo in the house. We as always, if you're not following Debo's Fishing, wake up, please. Start using the internet appropriately and go do that.
He said he'd like to lose all of his drop shot stuff.
No, he said crap.
And his lunker hunt spiders. He would bring on board
the undertow behind his boat where they would follow him on the slipstream back to his boat.
They would attach themselves to something,
like
just
going back,
twisted up in some spare braid, just like dragging along.
Like the just married cans, 100%.
The just married lunker hunt spiders.
Debo, if you ever get remarried, or maybe for one of your daughter's weddings, we could do that.
Tandem kayak, 8 lunker hunt spiders off the back, just skittering along the surface. Oh my gosh. Huzzah.
Oh, this doesn't make any sense.
Give me 1 W. Paul will just be right up the middle. How about
I'm
that?
very, very average.
I like to be right
Paul.
here. Not here. Not here. All right. Anyways, so today's show is overrated, underrated. We are going to call out a thing that is related to fishing until Slow Rolling Thunder, where we have 5 fun topics. And we're going to say if it's overrated or underrated, and we'll choose if we want to talk about it a little bit. But we got 50 of them. So we're going to kind of cruise here. And then I want to hear you guys in chat, as always. Let us know what you think. Paul is 9% underrated, which means he loses. Chaz wins.
No, that means I'm very appropriately rated.
No, they were voting for the most underrated. I'm very appropriately rated.
I am accurately rated.
Welcome to the fixed dimension. It is Paul.
I am perfectly rated.
Are you on mic, Chaz, or am I just listening to thin air?
Silence. So, Chaz, you're going to put these on the screen? Is that what you're trying to say? You're going to put these on the screen? He says yes. We're going to see polls. So the first one, kicking us off, Jeff wrote the letters LMB. I'm assuming that means largemouth bass.
No. Yes, of course it does. Yes. So largemouth bass, overrated or underrated? And you got to be quick on these polls, folks.
Overrated
is my vote as well. Here's the deal. I love catching me a LMB, but there are so many species out there that I would honestly rather catch. And if I was in a tournament, obviously it's not overrated. It's just perfectly rated. Of course I want to catch them. But if I'm just going out fishing, like I enjoy the species. And we get comments every now and then that are like, he was so, it was the last video we did, and like Paul caught a pike. Maybe it was on MONSTERBASS. I saw a comment on your video on MONSTERBASS. Yeah. And it was a swim bait video. And so somebody goes, he was so excited to catch that pike. Like, why? Like, we're not in a tournament. We enjoy the species. All right. I'm just saying it. And so far, Chad agrees. Close, very close. 59-41. So 60-40. There we go. So some of you get it. You like the species. I'm with that. Paul's saying goodnight to his man.
My son's going to sleep.
Yeah, exactly. Devo says underrated. Hot take. Says people dismiss how hardy, plentiful, and fun they actually are. Which I don't hear that perspective, Devo.
Oh, you're going to hear that in 4 questions, and you'll hear my actual answer in the next question. Because I think that, so I'm in agreement with Jeff, where I think there's so many people that are like, the largemouth bass is the only fish, and if I catch a catfish, well, I'm,
I quit.
I quit.
All right.
Quit.
So next one, pike. Specifically, I'm going to say the northern pike. However, we could include pickerel, the Essex family, whatever, right? All of the toothy critters. Okay. To me,
already voted. Extremely underrated.
Severely underrated. Underrated.
Makes no sense. I don't get it. I just saved a picture of a pike, and for you guys, I'll post it tomorrow on Instagram, and I'll say I'll reference this show, and I'll say this is the most underrated fish in North America.
Yeah, and if you say never caught one, you gotta catch one. I mean, to me, it's like a bucket list fish, and it's still, and even though we catch them all the time, like my bucket list is actually like going way up north in Canada and catching some absolute mondo pike would be amazing.
Unlike a 25-year-old spoon.
Yeah. I see Jesse says chain pickerel on the ultralight. Heck yeah, dude. Just because they're so crazy. Yeah, they're fun and slimy. The online outdoorsman caught a 30+ inch pike on an ultralight, like 4-pound test last year in a video. Cool. Unbelievably cool. Debo says topwater pike, 100%. I think I've done that twice in my life. I want to do it way more.
It doesn't happen with frogs for me ever, but the old
spook?
The torpedo. what's
Oh, the
one with
torpedo. I was gonna say whopper plopper, but yeah,
The
I've done it
whopper
on the
plopper
plop.
and the pedo are the ones where
Yep.
I
The plop and the pedos. All right. Next up, that sounds bad. Bluegill. Bluegill is an interesting one.
Accurately represented. Neither. I would say neither. I think
I'm gonna go up the middle for sure. I would say it's funny because they just get so easy to catch. Like they catch themselves. Paul did a TikTok / Instagram reel the other day that was like, pick me. I choose myself to be.
I volunteer as tribute.
I volunteer as tribute. There it is. Because you could throw literally anything out. I did my first. For the first time I've ever done it, which I can't believe I haven't done this before because Ethan, online outdoorsman, is always telling me to do this. I used the bobber and a plastic. Float. Yeah, so I had the float on there with a little tiny jig underneath. Just cast it out off the dock, just chilling, and caught actually a pretty nice one, like a 2.5 pound bass on the ultralight. Yeah, that was cool. So but
bluegills are underrated.
I was fishing for bluegill, and I caught some on that as well. Yeah, they're very close. This should be a 50-50, you guys.
I'm gonna say accurate because I think the people that really like them give them their due, and I feel that people that look down on them, they're there, but not a lot of people get upset about catching a bluegill. Like no one's like, oh yeah, I caught a bluegill. They're like, oh rad, cool, throw it back. Like I think they're appropriately rated, and a lot of people target them for food and fun. So I would say accurately rated.
100%. I like it. All right, smallmouth bass. Underrated. If you're not traveling to catch big smallies with our buddies who run like Workman Outfitters, Flat River Outfitters, you guys met Tom Workman and Ted on the show before, like it's a worthwhile trip. We have some legendary smallmouth waters. There's tons more in the northern areas. Smallmouth, especially in the river, I will say, you got to catch them in the river. We got the chance to catch freaking giants in the St. Lawrence, and that was like a dream come true, man. Not enough people talk about smallmouth. That's what I say, except for guys like Smallmouth Crush.
It's a lot of love. They get a lot of love, but it's definitely not enough. I will say,
niche area, very niche.
I understand that like it's cooler to catch bigger fish, so like I don't want to take that away from largemouth, but I do think that they have their own allure, and they probably should get a little bit more love. But it's hard too because a lot of guys can't catch them, and I think that's the same thing with pike.
True.
But I think the pike have the added like weird odd thing where people get very upset when they catch them. I don't like getting my lures bitten off either, but at the same time I love catching big pike. So I'd say I'm sticking with underrated.
Underrated wins. Love it. 81%. All right, now we're gonna move into like some gear, right? So inline spinners. I threw this on. I posted a picture of a really old Panther Martin the other day, a trout spinner. And I want to hear you guys like MEPS number 2 and 3 for me, especially like the chartreuse with the white and the red and the tail. Like, dude,
for me, it's the black.
Underrated.
And it's the black and the orange.
Dark Fury.
Yeah, the Fury. I think I will say this: they can't be overrated, so they must be underrated. But I think they're probably appropriately rated. That's not an option, hasn't been, but I would say appropriately rated. They're absolutely not overrated.
Absolutely not. They are a all fish species catching machine. You can catch anything on a MEPS. Absolutely,
the treble hook version of a donkey tail. They occupy the same space.
Dude, I've caught catfish on them.
Everything.
Bluegill.
Everything.
Tiny to large. Bowfin for sure.
Everything.
Yeah, river perfection, you guys. Yes. If you get a chance, fish them in the river. They're great. And they knock off cover really well too.
It's incredible.
Right. Moving on. Spinning outfits. Spinning rig.
Always underrated.
Everybody hates on the spinning outfit.
They really do.
I want to know where our chat's at on this.
I do too, actually.
I love me a spinning rig. It's probably, if not my favorite, my second favorite rig that I own. And it's about to get better. I mean, next to, like, if I got to grab one, it's like the Psycho Stick Hakai combo is like my go-to. I love my Lose combo. It's fantastic too. But dude, spinning rig.
I think that
it's good for a lot of stuff.
And the underrated is like, I just think it's weird that people get very upset about like when you're using one. I'm always like, Why are you
Big
mad,
John
bro?
says severely overrated.
Big John, I
will
respect
say
your right to say what you're saying.
100%.
I don't agree.
I can see where maybe you would see that they're overused because they're like the intro outfit. It's kind of like everybody starts with or can start with like a spin cast or a spinning reel. And I kind of get that. And I definitely see that a bait caster is great for like most of the things that we do, especially bass fishing. But the spinning rig is just, oh man, and we finesse a lot, obviously, because we're up in the Midwest. But yeah.
Well, but it does. I mean, it has its place, and I just think it gets
important.
I think it gets a little underrated. I think by guys that choose not to use them. But yeah.
It's like 70-30.
David Eller goes like, "That's your opinion, man." For the dude, and Big John, we're not ganging up.
Your opinion, man.
We're not ganging up on you, man. You're allowed to think that.
This is the show where
everyone gets to be right, so it's gonna be fun.
Everyone's right on the show because these are all our opinions, and I think that just to call it out right here in the show, this is very important to understand because I see too many guys in fishing like fighting over this thing, that thing's total garbage. Why would you ever? Don't
go back to your country if you don't like them.
Like, don't ever touch those things. It's terrible. Like, dude, if it works, if it catches fish, if it makes you happy, like, do it. We're just giving you our opinion here, and we appreciate yours as well. This is a community, man. That's what we do. Ultralight.
So easy. This is all
ultralight.
So underrated.
underrated.
Unbelievably underrated. This might be the most underrated thing on the whole list, potentially.
Yeah. If you have not caught just a fish on ultralight, you are missing out. And if you want to see lots of fish caught on ultralight, you should watch Ethan, the online outdoorsman, because he does it pretty much all the time. I'm seeing 82% underrated. Nice. You guys are mirroring our opinion here. I like that. It's so fun. And like one of the best things about it is that you can catch big fish on it. And when you do, it's like the best.
I caught my personal best smallmouth with my son in between, sitting in my lap in a kayak. And I have no idea how it happened. And I will never forget the way that rod bent when that smallmouth ducked under the kayak. I almost lost my mind.
Yeah, it's awesome. Love it. All right, let's move into some kayaks. Actually, the next 5 or 6 questions are about boats. So the Old Town Sportsman's, whether it's paddle or pedal, doesn't matter. Just the Old Town Sportsman rig. Is it overrated or underrated? So
I don't think it's overrated.
I don't think it's underrated though.
Yeah, I think it's probably appropriately rated.
I feel like it just comes up so often, and like,
but it's the only it's the
highest
value.
Gosh dang boat.
No, it's the highest value kayak I think that's out there. I mean that in value because it's at a price that's maybe 20 or 10% higher than like what most people consider value. But I think it competes very well with kayaks that are way more expensive. I think that to me is actually the highest value.
I'm leaning towards overrated. I feel like it's fine. I don't think I would buy one, and that's what leans me towards overrated. No, I don't think I would.
Oh man, I think it's the best.
I think there's so many other amazing kayaks out there.
It's the best, probably.
I think I would take the Jackson pedal over it.
I would not. It's the best. I think it's the best prop-driven kayak out there.
Interesting. Oh wait, don't worry, Joshua. We're getting to that because next up's the Hobie Pro Angler. And I think it's very easy. It's and I own one. It's kind of overrated. Like the amount of it's because it's kind of like set up as like god tier kayak, and it's not. I mean, it has as many issues as any other kayak you'll buy. It's way more expensive, like infinitely more expensive, like 2x the cost. I'm very happy with my boat. Could we have done a similar rig that we'd be very happy with? I think so. And chat is agreeing. And I feel like that's kind of a community trend too. Like a lot of people look at the Hobies and they're like, overrated.
I disagree.
It's not underrated.
Yeah, I know.
They get enough. I know. They get enough props.
I agree with that. I don't think that it's overrated.
So
I don't really think. I don't think that it's like I think people's perception of it is actually pretty accurate. To be honest,
I think so. Yeah,
I do. I think so.
You were just talking about value. Like, so for us, if somebody came to us, if somebody came to us and they were like, I need to buy a kayak, it's a pedal kayak, like, you know, unless they say cost is no option.
But do we think that perception is that they're a value? I don't think anyone's perception is that they're a value.
No, but
I
isn't
think
that like
their
kind of what you
perception
look
is
for in a
like,
kayak?
no,
I mean,
it could be, but it might not be. I didn't buy it because I thought it was a value. I bought it because I thought it was the best kayak I could afford, and I was right.
It's the best kayak that I couldn't afford.
And I'm still right. I think the 360 drive is worth the price of admission, and I also think that the pedals are worth the price of admission.
Yeah, B. Dooley, very interesting question. I would do a crap ton of research before I answer that question.
What was the question?
So it was, what kayak would you get no budget if you could get any?
I'd probably get the same boat that I have now.
I'm just not going to guarantee that it would be. I feel like there's a lot of options. I feel like there's more options that exist now than there were.
90%.
So I'm just not researching the field right now. So like I would like to research the field and then make my decision.
There's no other 360 drive. So I'm still in. The 360 drive is a game changer.
The 360 drive is hard to leave. My problem is that it has a lot of issues. So when the 720 drive comes out, I will be.
What issues do you have with the 360? I'm interested now.
Oh, yeah. So I've had issues with my 360 drive since I got it. You had an issue at the beginning, but it was because we installed it wrong. But
yeah, I've had no issues whatsoever.
So I broke the clutch, got a replacement clutch, and now I have an issue where like it does not 360 on me sometimes. I actually have to like rotate the drive the other way. So I'll hit a stopping point, and what had happened before was I pushed through the stopping point.
I remember.
Because you do, and then I broke the clutch. So now I'm like hesitant of that. So I get to the stuck point and then I just go the other way, all the way around so I can turn the other direction. So, I mean, because of the issues for me, overrated. That's where I'm at.
I'll live in that kayak and I'm not going to change my answer. I think it's got the most space of pretty much any kayak you can buy.
Yeah.
I think it's got the most efficient use of space of any kayak, and I'd be willing to stand by that. I think that all the features on it are actually worth the money, even though it's a lot of money. And that seat may never be beat.
Yeah, I do think the seat is very hard to beat. I think if there were less issues for the cost, which should be zero issues in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
I would be 100% underrated.
So that's where I'm at, because I've not had any problems. The only problem I have was that slight squeak, and all I did was add some like mechanics grease, and I've not had it squeak once since.
I probably need to do that. Anyways, let's go to
You do. I remember listening to you pedal, and I was
you
like,
just heard me the other day.
What?
Yeah. It gets real squeaky. Anyways, so I'll do that next time we fish. Okay, cool. Can you bring me mechanics grease next time we meet up? Yeah. Thanks. So let's go into categories here. So pedal kayaks. In general, pedal kayaks. Are they overrated or underrated?
Still underrated.
I'll say underrated.
Yeah.
And, regardless of my previous answer, it doesn't matter. That is one pedal kayak. Like I'm saying in general, having the ability to pedal over paddling is for whatever reason underrated. Like if it doesn't just blow away all paddle kayaks eventually when like the cost balances out a little bit, I'd be surprised. Pedal kayak is the way to go, hands down.
The no gas, no charge, very fast ability to go upriver. It's not even question. And the only reason I say overrated and not accurately rated is because I think that people will still be like, I'd rather have like a boat when they haven't been in a pedal kayak, because not understanding.
Yeah. All right. Power kayaks.
Somebody just said Angler of Misfortune said way overrated.
What is overrated?
I'm assuming pedal kayaks. That's how it seems.
I mean, interesting take. If you're paddling some super flat, easy to handle
Tell
ponds,
me more.
Like if I'm in a wide open pond, lake, and the wind is just bashing you up, like you're not going to beat a pedal kayak.
The only time a paddle kayak has a chance is in the river. Is in the river.
Paddle for life. Interesting.
I mean, you do you. I'm not
skinny water, flat, easy water. Sure. 100%. There you go. All right. So power kayaks.
I already voted.
52%
Oh,
underrated.
the 2 people voted. I said underrated. I said underrated.
Vote
I'll tell you
people.
why. I'll tell you why.
I'm gonna say overrated.
You're saying overrated. Wow.
They're overrated. 100%.
Really?
They're overrated because the battery life is absolute trash. Like until that gets fixed, no thank you.
But the battery life is up to you.
If we want to run our Panoptics and we want to run our let's say
I know
we get, like,
someone
the
that does that.
power-
I know someone that does that
You
and
gotta get the
runs
100 amp.
and runs 2 screens.
Who?
Christine. She runs 2
She has what does she have? A Bixby motor on there? A Torqeedo?
Torqeedo. She's sponsored by Torqeedo.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So does Chad Hoover. But yeah, I mean,
I'd say I think underrated, and I think that
I can't add any more weight to that damn kayak.
No,
dude.
no. I totally get that. I still think it's underrated. I think that I've seen, from what I've seen, the people that have them, like every person that gets one that's in tournaments, like will not go back. The Gene Jensens and Chad
Maybe
Hoovers
it's just
and
like
Christians of the world are like, no, I'm keeping it forever. I'm gonna get a trailer now, and this is a way better version of a single person John.
It's your
boat.
one person bass boat.
Yeah, your single person John boat. So I will probably say underrated still. And I think they're only going to get better too. So I think like if you were like electric vehicles, if they were on here, I'd say still underrated.
Yeah, I'll wait 5 years and then I'll say underrated.
I'm actually literally like 3 years and I'm going to go get one.
Sure. All right. Interesting takes. I'm liking this. John boats.
John boats are, I think, perennially underrated.
Yeah. We're talking like most affordable boat that you can get.
Yeah.
Like they come in a lot of different styles. So like
billion different configurations.
Mm-hmm.
They're I mean,
easily customizable.
Illumiac. I would totally agree with that. The Devo take on the Illumiac. I mean, you look at who's the guy who's been running one for the last like couple of months on the home lakes. That's is it Pike? And I mean, his boat has a $15,000 trolling motor on it. He's got 2 screens. He's got he's got a big motor on it, and he's got a full SeaDeck setup, and it's a totally open concept boat with a whole. It's only seats like 2 people, and it's a totally flat boat. It's amazing. I think that's awesome.
Fair enough. Yeah, I would say John boats are underrated. If you're looking
91% underrated. I'm assuming that's 5 people.
People get it. All right, I'm gonna swap the next question actually because I like what G-Fon just said because he's our guy for this. Yes. So G-Fon, member for 13 months, the Snorlax crew. Thank you so much, my friend. He says, "Watch what you say." JDM baits. So Japanese domestic market baits, y'all. What is your opinion? Overrated, underrated? Now, G-Fon's my guy, so I'm going to be very cautious about what I say. I would say
price doesn't matter. Price is irrelevant.
If price doesn't matter,
not if. It's just their rating. What are people's perception? I think
so. Sans price, I'll say mostly underrated. I tried a few. There's been a few baits that I've tried that are JDM specific that I'm very upset about, but the vast majority I've been very happy with. Like just
the Okashira,
great quality. Yeah, the Okashira heads are amazing. Like lots of the Megabass stuff. Of course, it's very expensive, but
all of the Megabass stuff is unbelievably nice.
I mean, a $25 jerkbait, but when I take my $25 jerkbait and it's reliable and like I love fishing it, it's got amazing action. It's hard to compare that to my $9 jerk baits or my or cheaper.
and yet I
fish them and I'm so pissed.
The Megabass gets a lot of love. So I think if you only said Megabass,
it might be leaning towards overrated.
I would be leaning towards overrated. If it's the JDM entirely, I think underrated. And the reason I say underrated is I do think that the idea generation is very, very good. Dude, like they make
so many
amazingly cool ideas. And that's why I will stay with underrated sum total.
I mean, you guys saw that crazy topwater that G-Fon got us, right? They had the removable cup lip for it, so it could be like a jitterbug kind of hollow body, and it had a rotating tail. I'm just like, yo,
the double spinner. There's so many. Yeah. Underrated. I'm going underrated.
All right, so everybody else said overrated. 67% overrated. I mean, I hear you guys.
I get
fish with them.
No, I get it. But I get it. Yeah. I see that.
Yeah, and if you guys want, just go to Tackle Warehouse and you can check out the entire JDM section on there. There's like a big fat JDM section. You just want to see some of them, peruse the wares. Okay, next up, living on a lake. You live on the lake. Now you have a cottage on a lake, a very big, important lake.
To me, I think it's, but I don't live there, so I will say.
Well, yeah, I didn't mean to live there, but yeah.
This is a very personal answer. No one's going to be wrong. I say underrated, but I 110% would see why someone would say overrated. So I'm clicking. My vote is underrated.
All right. I'm gonna say underrated too, man. Like the lake life is a real thing. You hear lake life and you're like, oh, okay, friggin', nonsense that you would see at like Hobby Lobby.
Salt life.
Dude,
I live in Michigan. Salt life.
Unsalted. Yeah, the lake life is a real deal. I live 50 yards from a lake all the time, and I wish I was 0 yards from the lake, because I mean, I can just imagine like launching my boat, having a pontoon up on my dock like at all times during open water seasons, and just launching my kayak real fast.
There are drawbacks.
74% said underrated. Yeah, the big drawback is
expensive, but also water table issues. You got like lake fees and all that crap.
Depending on the level, you might not be able to have a basement.
You have a beach, you got people coming on your property. There's a whole bunch of other things, but I think in general, I'd still say underrated.
Okay, living on the river.
It's got to be massively underrated.
Living on the river it's a whole different animal entirely.
Yes.
If you guys have never like camped on a river, at the very least, I would encourage you to try to do so. We've done it a lot, and the river is just it's a whole different beast. First of all, you guys know it's like our favorite type of water to fish. Favorite type of water. So
you could very easily be on a crappy stretch, though.
You could, and that
you'd also lose a kid in like a millisecond.
Yeah, you can do that.
You could definitely do that.
How many kids?
It also floods. But I still think the river is massively under. It is beautiful. The other thing about living on a river, there's not that many rivers that have like very choked neighborhoods. Like a lot of times you're going to have a little more space and some like, nice scenery, not just like other people's houses. So I think that would be a benefit.
BDG says above the flood line, underrated. 100% agree.
Yeah,
I've seen too many houses in my neighborhoods flood when I lived in Lowell, Michigan, like because I was right on the Grand, Thornapple, Flat, all of those, and I would drive by every year. Always would happen spring with some of our worst floods the last 5 years. It was so bad, and I was like, dude, I feel so terrible for those folks. And I was just up in town, dry as a bone. Above the flood line for sure. Very important. Floods are overrated. Agreed. So are landslides, tornadoes, volcanoes, all those things. Yep. 100%. All right. So now let's get interesting. Wading the river.
Well, I would like to say underrated. But I can't. I think it's accurately rated because you forget you're probably not thinking about all of the fly anglers out there, and they very probably overrate wading the river. So I think they outweigh the number of bass anglers that do not appropriately give the river. But I'll say this. Of bass anglers, just like specifically traditional tackle guys, extremely underrated, way underrated.
Yeah, Jeff Elliott says it's a pain in the ass. For sure it can be.
Sure. River?
Wading the river, it can be. Here's the issue with the river mainly, and where it could lean towards the mid to overrated category. And like, I love rivers. Like, you guys know this.
Look at it.
Thanks. If
you sucked, like
the struggle is depending on the stretch you want to fish. If there's a dam, it could be open. It's unwadeable. Now you're bank fishing on a person's lawn. Like that can be frustrating. But I will say, and we say this all the time, if you guys haven't tried wading a stretch, you're definitely missing out.
I think that the idea of having to be strategic about picking a spot, like you could make the same argument for a lake, and I don't think that detracts. Like once you're there,
No.
I think wading the river is
It's only frustrating when there's a stretch that you really want to hit, and then for like 3 months in a row, every time you get a chance, it's too high.
That's
Like,
the only
worst.
thing is when it's too high and you don't have a boat. So that's
Yeah.
but that's only
People agree, underrated.
That's only usually a problem. It can be as big or as small a problem as you want to let it be, because you can put all your stuff in a sack and you can just swim.
The minimalist approach to fishing with ultralight is like my favorite thing in the world.
Yes.
Yeah, again, I'm just presenting both sides of the argument here
It's
a little
fair.
bit, but
It's fair. It's not perfect.
I think most people underrate it.
The best.
Okay, let's go to bank fishing. So this is an interesting one. Dude, I wanted to call out like some tough ones for you guys. Like
hold on.
What? Are you gonna vote real quick?
No, I always vote.
Yeah, I mean,
so bank fishing for me, I think, is overrated.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I think it's overrated. It sucks.
Okay.
It's very different. I think it's fine.
I don't think it sucks, but I definitely think it is overrated as well. But tell me why you think.
I think it's overrated because I think people like stare you in the face and tell you, I don't need a boat. I can fish this like just fine from the shore. And I'm like, that's smart of you to be wrong, I guess.
The audacity.
It's like categorically incorrect. But but it's not that it's not fun. I'm not saying it's not fun.
It is very fun.
I'm not saying you shouldn't do it. I did it for a long time. I happen to also be in a place where if I had the selection, and I always do, of going from the bank or going from the river, I'm always going to wade the river.
Yeah. 100%. And especially in the areas we have, because it's like you can bank fish always just one portion of the lake or pond, and then you're on private property and you can't fish. And then you always you have to hustle through the sticks, which is, it's an adventure. It's kind of cool. And then you're like flipping under a tree and you're like, this is the best spot.
Mad respect. I have it
on my home lake all the time.
Mad respect to all the bank anglers out there. Been 100%. There. And I have respect for you guys. And when you catch a big fish on the bank, I just, double the credit. But like, it's overrated.
Yeah, don't tell me if you had the chance, you wouldn't get on a boat. Like you would. You would. Don't lie. Yes. All right. Pond fishing. Fishing just like, I don't know what I'm even thinking here. Farm ponds, golf ponds.
Farm ponds.
Okay, thank you.
And I am
overrated.
It's massively overrated.
Massively overrated. Sorry, Chaz, we're totally messing with you. Did I go out of order? No, I didn't. I was on order. Oh, my bad. Chaz, severely underrated once again. All right. So, we're talking about ponds. So, farm ponds. I mean, to me, overrated. As much as I would love to catch big fish, I think there's a few ways you could look at this, but it's like, I don't know. Is it cheese in the game? Is that just cheese?
It's fine. I would do
content,
it,
but like,
when I see people, like, I know very specific people, and that's all they do, and I'm like, you have.
I'm over here trying to figure it out.
You've barely scratched. No, I think you've barely scratched the surface of fishing. Like, I don't think you're actually. That's the whole shooting fish in a barrel type deal.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool, and I would definitely do it. But if given the choice, it's very rare that I would pick the old farm pond.
Yeah, same. You take away the puzzle.
David Ellers, and I'm with you on this one. He says, as a dad, it's underrated. Need to get the kids on fish.
Totally different.
100%, totally fair. A great point. It's still overrated.
We took the kids to a trout farm pond.
Yes.
I didn't. I mean, I had fun because my kids had fun. I would never go there.
That's what he's saying. I think that's a good point. That's a good point, though. It's a good point.
If the question were phrased as overrated, underrated, farm ponds with kids, underrated, absolute blast,
massively underrated. Everyone should do that.
You don't have to do any work. It's like if you go down to your local watering hole, you got to do all this work. You can't fish at all. Now you give them a cane hole with a worm on it.
I take my kid bank fishing, not to a pond. And not to like a farm pond, and that's what we do.
Yeah. Devos. as a guy who can't catch fish, underrated. All right. Well, most people are with us. Okay. So urban fishing came up. If that's where we're at, Joss.
Oh, is that it? Is that where we're at?
Yeah. So urban fishing. If you guys have ever like stayed downtown somewhere, what are you doing? What are you pointing at?
Underrated.
Underrated. Okay. This is what I'm getting at. So like imagine you're staying downtown, you bring like a travel setup, you're in Chicagoland, you're in, wherever, like where there's a river, there's fishable spots, blah, blah, blah. Like, or you're like me and Paul, and we go to downtown Jackson, we wade the river a little bit. Like the urban, it's underrated to me because like there's just something about being able to go under like a railroad crossing and then like this building that's closed down and like it's kind of scary, which I love. I love scary stuff. It's just cool. It's just
what
cool.
I love. You know what I love? In Battle Creek, the creek runs right through like 2 restaurants and like a whole bunch of like work areas. And I'll be and it does not look clean. And I'll hop in there and I'll be pulling fish out and I'm like knee deep in some skunky stuff. People look at me like I am a leper. They're like, what are you doing, you insane person? I'm like, oh, I'm just being myself.
And then every once in a while, depending. What, Chaz? Oh, Tom Allred, aka Alfred, is from Battle Creek.
Tom Alfred. I used to work in Battle Creek at a large company that shall not be named, but you know who it is already. And I used to fish that creek constantly.
I was just going to call out what Debo said, and he goes, overrated, too many people and strangers and humans and living people.
No one does like the people.
Debo,
but it is funny though.
We're men behind the same heart, man. Like I'm a reluctant extrovert. I extrovert for jobs and it like exhausts me. I'm with you. Like if I'm fishing, I don't want to talk to freaking anybody. I hit like and I love the people around me. They're very, very nice people. But like I hit the water the other day and on my lake, I recently got access to the gate. I didn't even tell Paul this yet, but we have gate access now. So we can like park on the street, use the launch, anyways, blah, blah, blah. So I'm launching from the beach. It's already a struggle. And like 4 or 5 people, they were working on the park, the HOA, and they came over to start talking to me. And I was like,
nah,
hey, like you guys are very nice and very helpful. And I definitely want to talk. But right now I have 3 hours until my daughters go to a birthday party. So I have to fish. And like, I would imagine, urban fishing, you also end up with the Karens and Kyles of the world that are going to be like, what are you doing to that fish? Why are you down there? I've seen, you've seen the videos, staged or not, could be an issue. So I am behind that still. I'll put headphones on or something just if I'm walking through a super busy stretch and be like, do not talk to me. And I don't feel bad, honestly, about just being rude and continuing to do my thing.
One of my favorite TikToks was, I'm not going to be mean to you. I'm just not, and I'm going to be cordial.
I'm not going to be anything,
but I'm not going to be over nice to you. And that's what you're getting from me right now. And I'll be moving on with my life.
Yeah. Exactly. All right. Cruising along. We're going to speed around the next 10. We got fish finders. Overrated, underrated.
Overrated.
Yeah. You know why? Because you can fish without them. However, are we pumped that we have Panoptics? I freaking am. I've used it like 3 times now.
It's all still way overrated.
It's overrated. Do you need
them? I've caught fish without them for my entire career.
Long before I even had that Lawrence. Old Lauren, who's on a shelf now collecting dust.
Way overrated.
Been catching fish, still catching fish. All right. So do we got a poll there? Oh, look at that. Overrated. You guys are with us. I love it. Castable sonars.
Way overrated.
Way overrated. Absolute garbage.
No. They're just overrated.
They are. They're garbage. Here's the problem with them. I mean, you
guys
extra we've done videos
rope and or
yeah, if you have the rope, it like slingshots back at you. So it's like really hard to put it into an area and like get a good read on it. You got to go high end. So you're spending $300 minimum if you want to get like a really nice layout, like get an idea of what the heck is going on. So it's like if you get those $99 ones, it's like, yeah, you can get water temp kind of, and then you can get depth and all that stuff. It definitely tells you more information that you have. I love that you just put on the same hoodie
That's
that
what
I
I
have on.
had in the. That's what I had in the pile. I looked for
Okay,
something different.
sure.
That's what I had.
Weirdo.
Mine's
All right.
gray. All right, so the people know.
Mine's gray.
There you go.
So yeah, I mean, pretty overrated. Like you got to go super high end to get anything worthwhile out of it. Like the deeper chirp is like $2.99. If you don't get that, like
I still recommend it to people. I just still think it's overrated. I would
Yeah.
recommend sonar to people. I still think it's overrated.
yeah, polarized sunglasses. If you need a castable sonar, just like fish from the bank, polarized sunglasses. You can get a $300 on sale. You can get like a nice 5-inch fish finder if you have a boat. For like
I like the
$300.
idea.
You
I
can
like
get
the
'em
idea
used.
of. I like the idea of people like using them as like portable fish finders for very small like kayaks and
Vessels.
stuff. Yeah, I
Yeah,
love
like
that.
the
It's
deeper
good, but
over
it's
the
still
side thing.
so
Yeah.
overrated. Yeah, it's a hood be Dooley. I can't pick every shirt in the world. Frickin' A. I
Why
like
didn't you
how
cut it off?
this is where it's like people are like, oh, you didn't like hoods. So why does 4 of your shirts have hoods on? It's because they have hoods on them, man.
This is why you're not underrated.
I love you guys for calling me out on my
All
BS.
right. Next up, nippers. And if you guys don't want to know, if you don't know what we're talking about, nippers are usually like fly fishing. They'll call it nippers, but like just a little nail clipper, little clipper, little cutter. Overrated.
Overrated.
Hate them.
I used to love them, and now way
Hate 'em.
overrated. Way overrated.
Scissors. Nice scissors that actually hold up, not those
Jibo goes
$4
throw your
Apollos.
Jibo, throw your fishing partner in and see if they can touch bottom. Yep, deeper than 6 feet.
6'2", Debo. For you, are you 6'4", Debo? You're maybe taller than that.
Oh, dude, that's funny.
I love it. Throw a Paul in, you're like, well, 2 foot wading depth. We're good. All right.
Wait. What's a side cutter?
Side.
Oh, like the little ones that come with your
Oh, you pull the line through and just pull it and cut it. Like line cutters?
No. You have pliers. I'm assuming he means the little ones that are on the side that are braid scissors.
I don't know, but yeah,
those are basically nippers. I think that the next one. Or go to the next one.
I'm talking about like if you bought specifically nippers, but
nippers are way overrated because they're like $200 for really nice ones, and they're $7 for bad ones, and none of them work. I have a $70 pair.
Is it the Gerbers?
I have a $70 pair, and they're in a
those
bucket.
Are trash.
They don't do anything. These are garbage.
They suck.
These are BS, man.
They barely cut tippet.
You know what? I'm gonna put these in the giveaway.
Oh, cool! You said, "Here's my trash."
Someone else's treasure.
Paul overrated. All right, next up.
Oh my god!
Braids. Oh, yeah. No, I got you. Interesting.
Oh, those are I would agree with that.
Yeah. So the next one up is actually braid scissors. So this is an interesting one. I don't do a lot of people got to use them, right? Like those are pretty underrated though. I feel like everybody's using pliers.
I'd say a very slightly,
yeah.
Slightly underrated.
You know what? One of my favorite ones, the favorite setup that I have, I hate my Rapalas. They're like $5.99. They're absolute garbage. I don't have the Kudas. You do. But, or no, I don't have, neither of us have the Kudas. I'm thinking of the other brand we had.
Rapala.
No, the Kudas. Ones. Yeah, those are trash. Those are terrible.
I like mine.
They're absolute garbage. They break down so fast. But what I do like for like scissor purposes is actually the split ring pliers from Cabela's that are $6.99 because they cut braid like nobody's business forever and ever. It's the blue and silver pair. Paul's probably got them somewhere. Like that. Those are like the most useful things. Yeah, that one.
I bought a 3-pack.
Come different colors.
I bought a 3-pack.
They're amazing.
For $12. These are incredible. I've actually bought 2 3-packs and I've given a bunch away. These are
those things are the best.
These are the best. These are number one.
But yeah, like good braid scissors. Sure, for sure. I would say underrated.
Slightly underrated.
Slightly, very slightly, but like, yeah. Okay. Next up, expensive wading shoes. So if you guys don't wade, if you don't wear waders, you might be like, what the heck are we talking about? We can speed through this one. But it's got me thinking because there's, Paul brought this up. There's a lot of brands out there. And you're talking what's like $200 is like normal?
$250. So like
$250?
Sims, Patagonia, and NRS all make like a wading sock / shoe.
Yeah.
It's like a slip-on. They're very cool looking. They're very expensive. I think they're incredibly overrated.
Yeah, I think they're overrated. I
But
think there's a
that
million ways you
problem
can do that.
But that problem of like what shoe to wear when wading is like a very difficult problem to solve.
It is an interesting problem, but we solved it for $60 with those Danners, and
Half
then
off. Oh, those are $120.
even then, it's half the price of the expensive wading shoes. So then, but that got me thinking too, like those wading socks I have, if you just don't want, your feet touching rocks or whatever, like you want sand on them.
Well, you say that, but dude, urban wading without a shoe is like, I've done it plenty of times.
Oh, yeah.
It's not cool. It's not cool.
Yeah, I mean, you do not want to do that with Crocs. I mean, that's why Paul was in the hospital at midnight or 2 a.m.
So Devo makes a good point. He says we wear our old mowing New Balances in the water.
Smart.
I did that for a long time. I still have that pair of Nikes, and that's exactly what I do. It's a
funky feeling.
They're never tight enough, and I'm never happy with the traction. I'd rather be in a
turn into rocks.
I'd rather be in a Croc. Yeah.
All right, chat's behind us. So let's go. You said this one.
Yeah.
Never thought about this, but Climacool hats. So like the cool feeling hat, like when you sweat, it's supposed to make your head feel cooler. I'm gonna say overrated. I'm never buying any of that stuff.
Way overrated. All that is a gimmick. When it's 90 degrees out, I'm never gonna be like, thank God I have my Climacool hat on.
Or the mission towels. I had a American flag mission bandana one time. Yeah,
I don't even know what that is.
It's the same thing. It's like the Climacool.
Oh,
but it's like a towel. You get it wet. Like Frog Togs makes those too.
I see that.
Or maybe Frogs. It's like a different. But anyways, you like get it wet, and then it's supposed to be like really cold feeling. You just put it on your neck. There are definitely reasons to have that, but I think when you go to Climacool hats, you've gone too far. Like overrated.
G-Fon goes, Crocs don't block syringes while urban angling, and they also don't point.
It's very true.
They don't stop the razor sharp shale or slate from going straight into your heel, and you having to go to the hospital 2 times in the middle of the night and have someone use a spoon to dig rocks out of your heel.
Use a spoon? I just want them to pull out like a spoon from a silverware.
It was the most painful thing. Like, and I remember she kind of looked at me like I was being a wuss. I'm like,
yeah.
What are you looking at me like I'm a wimp for? Like, it's like 4 a.m. I can barely breathe, and all you've done is take a knife into my heel and try and dig rocks out of it.
Your foot's like, 4 times too large, gushing blood and pus, and she's just like, grow up.
I should have done it myself. That's what I did when
remember
when I broke that thorn off in my heel at our rugby camping trip. I think it was infected, and I went home and dug it out with a pocket knife. I should have done that.
So gross. All right. Anyways, so you guys are with us on this one. I love it. Let's go to hoods.
So overrated.
Underrated.
So overrated.
I want to know, chat, be with me here. The correct answer, overrated.
Look at this floppy garbage that's not going to do a darn thing for me.
I don't even wear them that much, and I still think underrated. Like, I just enjoy
having a hood. Comfortable. The sun's off my hair that I'm already wearing a hat
I just said I don't wear it. It looks great with your headphones on, though. Really, like you have a massive skull. Hey, man.
200% like, skull width.
I feel better in a hoodie than in just like a crew neck sweater all day, every day, forever.
My neck is thanking me.
Chat 34 votes in, guys. 74% underrated.
I can't help all of you.
Can I win this tournament that we've been running for 114 episodes?
These hoods are garbage and they're overrated.
The guy makes no hard stances for the whole episode. Question 27. Hoods are garbage.
It's funny because like I love hoodies. I wear hoodies.
You're such a clown.
I wear hoodies like what, Jeff? 80% of the time I'm breathing.
I know. Exactly. Yeah. You're so weird. All right, next one. Overrated. Crocs. Are Crocs over or underrated?
The whole world loves Crocs and they're still underrated.
And there's still, if
outside
8 billion people are wearing Crocs,
underrated.
Still underrated. Because
Jesus never wore Crocs, so it's already permanently underrated.
Permanently. But like the rest of
Till he comes back and wears them again.
The rest of the universe is not wearing them, so underrated.
Underrated. I'm sure other planets don't have them, so underrated.
There's zillions of planets that don't have Crocs. It's so underrated.
As soon as they make shale stopping Crocs, then they will be overrated. It'll be underrated.
It's just like the outer layer is a super thin mesh layer of vibranium, so it's like great. So light, and it doesn't add any weight. Mithril.
Remember the shirt that Frodo wears in Lord of the Rings, and he gets stabbed by the ghost guy, and it doesn't matter because he's got his mithril shirt on.
You went
so nerd. You're right.
You went nerd. I was just like Marvel standard relatable thing, vibranium, and you're like, no. Mithril. All right. Paul, overrated. I'm leaning towards Paul's the most underrated, actually.
Mithril, underrated.
I'm like, you're the most underrated because you're such a dork, and like nobody even knows how much of a dork you are. You're just, oh my gosh. All right. The world needs to know Paul is way more of a dork than he ever lets on to be.
How? and I literally walk around saying I'm a nerd.
You're more than that. Anyways.
I like that you were like, what?
I know.
At least Charles was with me.
I know how everybody feels about Crocs, okay? In my eyes, underrated for life. Anyways, they chose overrated 69%. So nice.
All right, shut the show down. We officially have not met our mission statement, which is to get rid of all the hoods and bring the Crocs into the home.
The whole purpose of the Burly Fishing Show, the entire time, YouTube, the podcast, Instagrams, all that stuff, all we were trying to do was subliminally take away your hoods and put Crocs on all of you.
We need to make a t-shirt that's just our mission statement. It's like to make you buy the smallest lures on the shelf, throw away SPF 50 sunscreen, and put Crocs on the feet of every child in America.
But so what Paul
that last line,
that
last line is the best mission statement. I want like a multi-billion-dollar organization. Like let's just like Microsoft comes out.
What are you guys raising money for? To put Crocs
on
the foot of every child in the world.
I can get behind that cause.
$1 million. Do you need to? I will run 16 miles for this charity.
Well, you know, we had rails once. They're gone. Okay, uninstalled rails aside, we are going to the next question, which is big sunscreen.
I'm gonna go underrated because not enough people know about big sunscreen, and more people need to know so that we can ban them.
So you're saying the cause of big sunscreen? The cause of big sunscreen. I like that. Change your votes, people. The cause of the people versus big sunscreen is underrated severely.
That one will be upheld.
The caveat is always this: we do wear sunscreen, and we do not say go out into the world.
50. If you're in the United States, and unless you're in like Jamaica or something, you don't need 50. Yeah. Get out of here. Even I'm saying that, and if I can say that, anyone can.
30, 35 tops. Like anything under that, that's not big sunscreen. Big sunscreen is selling you up. On that SPF. That's what we're saying.
They're making you rub a t-shirt. Rub a t-shirt onto your forearm. You don't need to do that.
just wear a snowsuit. You'll be fine. All right. Waterproof wading bags. This was your take. So a waterproof wading bag. Whether you throw it on your boat or wading, I'll say. You could use it either way. Big sunscreen, underrated. Love it. Love you guys. 55%.
I would like to say I would like to say like overrated, but I are underrated. I actually
underrated. Waterproof bags are underrated. Like it's airtight. We were in the river swimming on it as a life preserver while it held our tackle and batteries and phones, dude.
Still think that
underrated.
I made it a long
without them.
With just a canvas bag in it. Yep. I still have it because someday I'll go back to it. But I mean,
dude, again, cost is not an issue here. We said that.
I know.
And if that's the case, if you guys can get a waterproof bag, get one. They're just, it's so worth it. Like, and like the only downside, honestly, for me with my fish pond, because I actually got it on clearance just because it was bright orange. It's like $80, normally 150, I think, or
Yep.
200. I don't know. I got it basically for free. And the only issue is the constrictive room inside, just like Yeti
Not
bags.
not the room, the opening.
The opening, yeah. So
The
there's
Yeti
room
has
inside.
solved that problem, and I'm waiting for the rest of the fishing world to freaking get their
100%. That like roll out kind of mag shut deal
wonderfully
is so
genius.
good.
It really is. It's something special.
Yeti needs to make a wading bag. It'll be $5.99, but it'll be dope, and I'll buy it. All right. Next up, Japanese fluorocarbon, and the vote was underrated on the waterproof bags. You guys are right.
Wow.
So Japanese fluorocarbon. So we did JDM. Now we're saying, what do you? Is it J-Braid? J-Braid.
Well, J-Braid for the fluoro. Yeah, I think that in general,
whatever that company.
Yeah, I think in general, I'm going to say appropriately rated. Not overrated, not underrated.
I'm going over.
A lot of people see the price tag and they walk away, and
I will too.
Probably rightly so. And we did even when it was free. I also
Which one?
With the when we had the option to go get the fancy
Oh
floor
yeah. Soft Steel had an option. So Akuma, our brand that we work with, they have Soft Steel. They gave us an option for their fancy Japanese fluoro, and we said, we'll take your cheapest fluoro, please. Yes. And we did.
Oh, I see why people say overrated, but I do think that there are so many, and I'm not speaking from personal experience. This is strictly from people who are 10 times better fishing than I am. Swear by it. And swear by it. So I will say appropriately rated, and that's a cop out.
Yeah, it is overrated. Chad agrees. All right, moving on. We got super high speed bait casters. We're talking the 10-to-1 ratio. What is it? The Beast, like Abu Garcia Revo Rockets.
Yeah. What's the Cast King one? That's like,
I don't know.
There's a Cast
Speed Demon 9-3-1.
Yeah.
Speed Demon's trash. 100%. Oh, okay. So Chaz said he needs a minute, you guys, just because he doesn't unmic himself.
We're on mute.
Yeah. We're on mute. See, I can't hear anything. Sorry. Overrated. High speed.
I think overrated as well.
An 8 is great.
I think the 8's the ceiling of my need, and I've never been like, man, I wish this was faster.
I really wish I had a 10.
Yeah, I've never been like, oh man, I really wish this was way faster.
So it could be like 150 yards out and be like, here.
Yeah, I don't 100-to-1, just yeah.
That's what I'm saying, Tom. Yeah, I just said it's out there 150 yards, it's here. Dude, you want to talk about burning a spinnerbait? It's like in the air, it doesn't even touch the water, it's just skipping.
And I think the thing that kills it is the price tag on those reels, with the exception of the Speed Demon. It's
Revo Rockets $3.99, right?
Very expensive.
Yeah,
very expensive.
Yeah.
What about hyper fast,
high speed spinners? No. I mean, wouldn't you want that for salt?
No. I think
big fish. No.
I think you get the benefit of finesse, but you get the added benefit of one of the biggest problems is that you like a crankbait rod, right? You can have a medium rod, but you can't get the right speed. You're 5'1", 5'2", right? On a lot of these. So if you could get up to that 6'6" or whatever, I'm kind of down with that. But I'm as the bait, and the prices are, I think, normal. But I think baitcaster, no way.
No way. All right, Chaz is back. Moving on. Giant swim baits. Also, chat, you agree with us. Totally overrated. Love it. Love you. Giant swim baits meaning over 2 ounces. So we're not talking even your basic river to sea S Waver, right? Or what we're going to get, the Hydroglides from Fish Lab to compare to the S Waver. We're talking about the big boys, and most likely the ones that are going to cost you $50+. Over or under, Paul?
This one's really hard, man.
Fish in the Southeast, of course, says underrated.
If it's a $300 swim bait, I can't justify that purchase. But
no way.
I think just a reasonably priced like big bait, I think is probably appropriately rated.
Overrated.
I knew you were going to say overrated. The only thing
I knew.
let me say that. Let me make the case. Because I tend to agree with
Mind you, hang on before you make your case. I'm good with up to 2 ounces. Like I'm saying over over $50. That's what I'm saying is overrated because I can do a lot with a $25 swim bait. Okay, go ahead.
I hear you. And I tend to agree with you, but I'll make devil's advocate. When you see somebody who's like got them dialed and like that's how they fish and you see like the results, I get it. But that's like, and that would be equivalent to somebody saying, this is what gets me. The equivalency if someone was like, I think that, the drop shot is overrated because all you do is catch a bunch of small fish all of the time. And you think that means it's working better. And I'm like, that's a good point. You're not right, but that's a good point. That means I'm also right.
Overrated. All right. I wanted to make sure everybody got their chance. So next up's the Ned rig. Ooh,
it is underrated.
This should be a hot topic, though.
It's underrated. This is underrated. This is underrated still.
Real quick, Tony 450 said you need a $700 rig to throw a $300 swim bait.
As I get into my $10,000 kayak where I could just walk the bank.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay, Ned rig underrated. Come on, fam.
This is underrated, and it's not just because I really like it. There are a lot of people who don't give it the time of day, or like
it gets poo-pooed on, and they don't even use it.
Yeah,
and I'm like, come on, dude. Like, don't go on here. What other bait? Here's most hated bait in fishing. Maybe close.
Drop shot.
What other bait?
But yeah, close.
I think the Ned
rig maybe is a little more infamous.
The Ned is more infamous for being hated. It's like cool to hate it now, right? Like you're a cool fisherman or woman if you hate the Ned rig. And like I see reel after reel just going like, nah.
It's all the same person making that reel.
What, Fishhook Terry? You gotta love it, man. That guy's cool.
I do.
It's hilarious. He does post it a lot. I'm just like,
every time he makes one and I see it, I make another one about swim baits. That's my rule. I see one.
I love that.
I go to my phone and I make one about
You guys can blame Fishhook Terry for all the swim bait ones against swim baits.
Yep.
I love it. Well, you guys are with us. Underrated. Thank you. And I would like to, I want the campaign, Ned rig nerds exists for a reason because it just happens to be like this most notoriously hated lure in bass fishing.
They're quite
It's ridiculous. Wait, you guys like Neds? No, Tom. You're right. Oh man, that was an interesting one, but thanks for voting with us. Shaky head. And I only did this, I will say this. Maybe you guys are just like, why even talk about this? The shaky head I wanted to call out because Paul recently became very proficient with it, and I think his mindset shifted on it. But what are your thoughts? I think I know.
I think it's appropriately rated. I think it's accurately rated. I think a lot of people like it. I think it's very, very good rig. But I think I think a lot of people are like on board, and it probably is somewhere in like their top half of like all lures that they use. So I think it's probably appropriately rated.
I feel like it's grown a lot in the last, couple of years. Seems to be more prevalent. A lot of companies going out of their way to make like new designs. We got the swing shaky head from 6 Cents.
It's on my list. The swinging is on my list this year. The football version of it specifically.
Yeah. So there's a lot of cool approaches to it. So I haven't copped out once. So I'm going to go ahead and say actually underrated. And I'm going to say underrated because it's just kind of coming up. To me, it seems like I've seen a lot more guys, just, YouTube guys, pro fishing guys, whatever, like fishing with.
I shake it over Texas rig now.
Oh yeah. That was gonna come up. I was gonna say, I think it's underrated because like it is still kind of like growing in terms of more guys using it. I think, that and the Ned rig have like really gone up a lot in the last couple of years. So Texas rig, Texas
I
rig,
gotta do it.
overrated,
I'm gonna do it.
underrated.
I'm gonna do it. It's overrated. Overrated. It's so great.
Overrated.
It's so great, but it's overrated.
Sure. It's a fish catching machine, but I'm gonna go ahead and say overrated because it's the
Overrated.
one thing that everybody's gonna be like, just throw a Texas rig. What do I do with this plastic? Texas rig it.
It's overrated.
Okay. I mean, it catches fish, you know?
Oh, it's great. It's so great. It's really
Adam
great.
loves the Texas rig. You know, a T-rig works. Of course it does. Fish in the South Seas. Like, you're right. It does. But at the same time, it's like...
It is great. We're saying it's great. We're not saying it's bad. We're saying it's just overrated.
Yeah, over or underrated doesn't
It'd
mean
be like saying that like
Iron Man...
That like Iron Man 1 is overrated. It's still a great one. It's very, very good. One of the best. It's still overrated.
Yeah. Yeah, actually it is. It's like,
it is.
Actually, all of them are.
I love the Iron Man. Iron Man 2 is not terrible. Iron Man 3 is absolute trash. Iron Man
3 is trash.
Iron Man is very good. It's one of the best. It's still overrated.
Yeah, I would say just if you said superheroes, he could be like an underrated superhero. Like he wasn't big until the Marvel movies dropped, you know. But anyways, you get it. How about the Carolina rig? How we feeling about that, chat?
Throw it up. Underrated. I'm very comfortable saying that.
Rated. It becomes like the old man category, and he's like, I don't
exactly.
I'm gonna tie that with an improved clinch knot or something, you know? 5 swivels. Oh my god.
Underrated.
All right,
my brain. It has a weird spot in my brain. Every single soft plastic I see, I evaluate it as to whether or not it's going to be a good Carolina rig. It's like instant.
I think when I see a plastic, if it's one that would be on a Carolina, then I'm thinking like Carolina, or could I put this on like a swing, like a rugby jig or a swinging football jig or something like that? Jika rig, free rig. So yeah, the same category. I'm like, that would be cool. Like when we got those, what's the one we just got from Z-Man and the Monster Bass?
The goat.
Well, the goat, but then there was the longer Carolina version one in the Carolina box.
That was the creature bait?
Yeah, I don't remember the name of it. Anyways, that one's super cool. And I got excited about it to Carolina rig it and a whole bunch of other stuff. Boar hogs. Thank you. Yep. Little Tommy, you're my hero. Yeah, those ones. See, you were oh man, you almost had them. Little Tommy got you beat. Sorry. The boar hogs. Yeah, those are sick, dude. And like thinking about with the Z-Man Elastic being more floaty, like the action that you're going to get out of that. Super cool. All right. So chat, what did you said underrated. Thank you. 56%. It was close. It was close.
It was closer. Yeah, it was close.
I see 23 votes. You know, we do have a Monster Bass giveaway coming up. There's a poll that just started without me talking about it. But we are doing a $25 gift card at the end of the show. You guys stay tuned for Slow Rolling Thunder. We got some cool stuff coming down the road as well. And we also both have like, see that purple bin right there? And like Paul freaked out when he just looked at his, but like that is full of tackle that we're going to do a giveaway on. We've already sent out all our other giveaways. We're all caught up. We're proud of ourselves, but more giveaways coming. So stay tuned for that. But if anybody left the show, make them come back. I see 23 votes on Carolina rig. I want to see 30 on the next one and just keep it going up because we're getting a Slow Rolling Thunder and it's about to go down. So you guys are already voting on this and I haven't talked to Paul about it yet, but fishing in Texas. Is it over or under? Everybody says go to Texas. Go to Texas.
Jeff, you're gonna have to tell me because I don't really know.
I'm not going to Texas. I'm going to Alabama.
Oh, that's right. I don't actually know, so I can't. I don't really have an opinion.
I don't. Either, I'm
gonna say underrated.
All right. I was gonna go with Chad on overrated because everybody's like, I live in Texas, the best spot to be, and like, and then they say like,
everybody that fishes says it's the best.
Go to Texas.
Everyone says the best, and you're like, that must be overrated. That doesn't. I don't think
everybody says it's the best. No,
but like a lot of people do. That was what you're saying.
Screw those guys. What do they know?
Yeah, exactly. What do they know? They just live there. I think that's
overrated.
Overrated. I'm going underrated.
All right. Well, look at that. 32 votes. I knew you guys weren't sleeping. Get ready for this giveaway.
Wow, way overrated. Holy smokes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. What's up? I'm with chat.
Holy cow.
All right. Fishing up north. Come at us, bros.
It's overrated. It's overrated.
Why?
It's just hard. Curious. It's hard to fish, man. It's hard fishing. It's not easy, and it's not. it's difficult. It's not for everybody. It's overrated.
Oh, what did we vote? They already did the subscription boxes. Stay tuned. It's coming back. We got to talk about that one. So yeah.
Whoa. 61.
That was only 13 bucks.
I know.
We're going to give it its dues. So hang on. So it's fishing up north. So we did Texas, technically down south, now up north. So yeah, I don't know. It is fun.
We're talking about northern Michigan, by the way, guys.
Yeah, we do get to, ice fish, and then also there's lots of nice smallmouth waters and pike and all this other stuff. So to me, like, I'm very happy fishing where I fish. Yeah. So it's hard for me to say overrated. I might say appropriately rated. It might be my first cop out.
It's not overrated for sure. It's not overrated.
You mean really underrated? Not.
I'm sorry. Yeah, it's not underrated. Apologies. Yeah. It's not underrated. It's very good. It's very good. It's very fun. But I think if you took the standard bass fisherman and you were like, pick your best spot,
you just put them somewhere.
Yeah, I don't think Michigan would be the place. The other thing too is like, I will say this: fishing on like June 15th or September 15th. On like a very good day, like a very good fishing day in a place like Grand Traverse Bay,
hard to beat anywhere in the world.
You would be pressed. You'd be pressed. Yep. It can be very good. But I think like as an average person who just fishes a lot, it's not the greatest fishing in the world. It's like specifically for bass fishing. It's wonderful multi-species. You do get a lot of beautiful days. You get a lot of wind. You get a lot of difficult days to fish, and you don't get the 5+ pounders constantly. So I would say in general, not overrated. Not underrated. I will go overrated.
If you're the dork that says a fish ain't a fish if it ain't 5 pounds, then you are not going to be happy. Nope. Just like most of the guys that see our pictures. Why are you smiling? That's only 2.5. Idiot. Yeah. All right. Anyways, moving on from locations, let's go to the one that Chaz posted earlier. But subscription boxes, are they overrated or underrated? This is a tough one.
I don't think so. I think it just depends on where you what seat you're sitting in. Like if you're a new fisherman, they are very underrated. Still, I think if you're a very experienced fisherman and you already know what you like and you tried a bunch of things,
overrated.
There's still something there for you, but they're overrated.
They're overrated. If you know what you're looking for, like they're overrated.
Yeah.
There you go.
But there's still
honest opinions.
I still think there's something there for you because
absolutely.
There are times when I get the box, I'm like, oh. Dang, man. Like, I wanted to try that, and now I can. Like, it's happened dozens of times.
Yeah, it does. I will. Chaz just made a point. Like, it does help you if that company does that, because there's a lot of subscription boxes companies. So I wanted to call something out. But, if that company, like MONSTERBASS, will call out, like smaller brands, to me, that's really cool. They'll work out a deal. They give that person an opportunity. Awesome. But then I also want to think about, like, if the company is more than a subscription box, right? One of the reasons we work with MONSTERBASS is because they do a lot more than just the box, right? If it were just the box, we'd be hard pressed to work with anybody, but that company would also probably not have a very good profit margin and couldn't pay us anything to work with them anyways. So when you see companies and like even Catch Co, MTB, like they're doing lots and lots of other stuff, that's really cool to me. And, Rick's always looking at expanding the company and doing cool stuff. So I'd say, like, if you go beyond the box, underrated. Like, as long as that company does way more, right? If it's just a box, I'm with you guys, because chat has spoken 77% overrated. But I mean, you guys have been hanging out with us for a while.
We got a lot of educated anglers.
You know more than we do. We're aggressively average. Like, you watch us because we're two idiots trying to fish, and it's hilarious. Like, these dorks don't know what they're doing. But if you're watching it for fun, totally get it. I would agree. Overrated. I love it. Interesting takes, though. This is why I want to do this episode. We scrapped for ideas for an episode, and this came out 7 minutes. I'm having fun. Shh, don't tell them. That's long.
Says the guy who doesn't write the show. Please continue.
He was with me while I wrote it. I wrote it entirely while Chaz was on air. But anyways, so next up we got Tackle Warehouse. The warehouse of the tackle. Is this website over or under? And also, is their shipping time like down again?
I think
like,
it's normal. Yeah,
it's normal now?
It's reasonable. It's reasonable.
When it was
It's reasonable.
14 days.
No, I know, but everybody, a
plus,
lot of people's
woof.
was. I'd say reasonable. I think it's actually underrated.
I don't hear about it enough.
I think it's underrated.
There's a lot of great tackle stores, but where do I always go back to?
It's a library. It's a freaking library. Like, you're usually getting a decent deal. You're never getting a great deal. I'm going to say that right now. You're never getting a great deal. That's why I actually struggled. You're never getting a really great deal. You're usually getting a reasonable price, though. And they always have what you're looking for. They pretty much have everything. And they almost always have stuff that you didn't know existed. And
the JDM section's great.
They just don't. I think they're underrated. There's nobody else that does what they do. They're also a library. I mean, I use them when I want to figure out like what exists because they have freaking everything. Like, there is nobody else.
When we did the mystery box trades with a bunch of YouTube creators, I chose Tackle Warehouse because I was like, I want to pick good stuff, weird stuff, different things like that.
But they have everything, and they can send it anywhere. It's
exactly.
I stick.
It's close. I agree. I mean, chat. It's close, and that's totally cool. I can appreciate that. It's something interesting to think about because there are obviously way more stores, but I just don't hear enough about Tackle Warehouse.
Cabela's and Bass Pro Shop sucks.
Yeah, I never order tackle or want to go into the store and buy anymore.
I hate going in the store.
Cabela's.
It's terrible.
Because it's 90% Cabela's Bass Pro.
But even then,
I just never have what I want.
And the terminal section sucks. And like, you'll go, I just do not like that. I don't like them at all.
Let's get weird. Let's take a stand. The Guggen Squad. Are they overrated or underrated?
Well, they're definitely overrated.
They can't be underrated at this point, right?
Yeah,
like that's not physically possible.
That doesn't mean that there's not good stuff. There's certainly good stuff.
Once again, over under doesn't mean good bad, right?
It's overrated.
But the sheer amount of just content and the fact that it's kind of like gone beyond even the fishing industry, like it's just vlogs now. I'm just like, okay.
It's all good. It's
I watch that stuff. I'm 100% honest. I watched that stuff back in the day when they actually fished all the time. And it was entertaining. And I did learn some stuff. And now it's like, I have no interest in this.
They make good stuff. And I think that I use their baits, but it's overrated. It's overrated.
Lake Fort Guy, John B. are still fishing, right? This is the only ones. I don't even know anybody else, but they're still fishing.
They still have Wes is on there, and Wes
is great. Wes's content on Instagram is phenomenal.
Yeah, he still fishes. I mean, there's guys, they're all fishing, but it's just overrated. It's overrated.
Becca does their stuff. We got Extreme Outdoorsman, Guggen. So
now you got a hardcore fisherman on their team. What's the dude that left MONSTERBASS to go over there?
Oh, Todd?
Yeah.
Yeah, Fishing Grubs.
That guy's probably the most hardcore fisherman that I know.
You want to see some cool salt picks and like Tautog?
No, you want to see some freaking carp. That guy is a freaking wizard.
Oh, be Dooley. Yeah, Lojo. Lojo kind of still fishes. Most of the time, these guys just got like farms and ranches, and
now he's got like his alligators and all this other.
They're sinking a boat. They're doing a mukbang. I'm just like,
Mark Daniels isn't MJD or MDJ or whatever. Mark Daniels Jr.
I don't know. No idea.
I'm sure he's with them. He's a freaking diehard dude.
You know what was funny is what was it? It was like 2 months ago. Somebody was like, everybody got fired from Guggen. Do you remember we were live? And then all of a sudden our chat.
I think it was Gramps.
Was it on Gramps' or when Gramps was on ours?
And he was on in chat. I think he said everyone got fired or whatever.
Nobody got fired. Not a single person got fired. It was the funniest, just like ridiculous thing ever. Anyways, so that's the squad. What about their baits? Guggen baits?
I'm sorry. When we said Guggen,
I was talking about the people, bro.
People? I think the people are probably accurately rated.
Accurately rated. Interesting.
Probably 50-50. Like, because I think like again, like Becca and some of those other. I actually watch their content. I really like fishing with Becca, and I never really watched all the really big channels. I really like Wes. I think he's like a
Yeah.
cool person. Just for on the internet, I don't know him personally.
I don't know any of them personally except for Rebecca and Todd.
And I like both of them. I think like Todd's a freaking G.
Oh, an extreme outdoorsman.
Yeah. So like, dude, those are all cool people. So I'll say 50-50. So I and that's not a cop out. I really don't know. If I had to, I'd say overrated because I think they
If
have.
you got the invite, would you join the squad?
No.
All right, cool. Just wanted to be clear.
I don't think so. No.
They're gonna invite you over me because you're underrated and I'm overrated.
No, I'm appropriately related.
I was like the appropriately rated.
I'm accurately rated. Everybody has rated me accurately.
I love it. All right, so Guggen baits though, like the actual baits. Baits are overrated. Hey, Chad agrees.
In some total, like some baits are over and some baits are under. There are some really great ones. There's no question.
Bandito bug.
Yeah. Even there's a bunch. Yeah, there's some great baits that I like and have in my possession. Will fish. There's a whole bunch more that I don't. Like the revolver is stupid. Like there's a whole bunch of baits that I don't think are real baits. So that's just overrated in general.
Okay. This is an interesting one. Rain gear. Specifically, I'm thinking the Aftco all-weather hoodie, the Reaper. I see so much marketing on it, and I have one. I don't like it.
If you're going specific on the Aftco, I can't speak on it. I've never used it.
You should use mine. So rain gear in general, it was on my mind because of the Reaper, and I haven't worn it. At all.
Rain gear in general is probably underrated because I don't think people are willing to pay for like quality rain gear, and they should. Yeah.
So I had a clearanced Marmot like raincoat that just eventually fell apart.
DWR. It was a DWR coated finish, so that's all the rain. That's all you got. That was actually waterproof, so not good.
Yeah. So I have since purchased the Sims Challenger raincoat,
which is not Gore-Tex. Actually,
it's not. But I'm a big fan. Lots of like tech pockets.
It's a 10K, so it's a 10K fabric. 10,000 fabric means it's a certain amount of water that you have on it to pass through the barrier. That's like the snowboarding quality waterproof material.
Yeah, I dig it. I like it a lot.
Very good.
If you get the right kind, awesome. But overrated, underrated, I'd say.
Gore-Tex, and it's I think it's still probably underrated.
I would say underrated. Everybody says overrated, but that's okay.
Dude,
that Aftco Reaper hoodie, overrated.
As somebody who fishes in the rain, whether or not I'm going to get wet, I'd prefer not to get wet, and it's awesome
if given the choice. All right. We're almost at the end here, guys. We're going to do slow rolling thunder. We got a giveaway coming up, so we're going to speed run the next couple. FG knot. The FG knot.
You go first.
Overrated. It's not the only knot that will work perfectly well when attaching two lines, especially braid to fluoro. And it's a pain in the ass to learn. I hear from Paul, once you get it down, it ain't that bad. You can knock it out real quick. But
it took me one night.
I'm perfectly content with my Alberto knot. And I know a lot of guys are happy with their double unis. And I'm just saying, everybody's like FG or nothing.
Freshwater fishing, I'll go overrated as well.
Good. Chat's in agreement, it looks like. Look at it. Look at you guys go.
Funny because a whole bunch of people that don't use it saying it. So.
All right. Improved clinch knots. I had to throw this on here. The improved clinch knot. And where's my hype man at? He needs to be here to be like, Avi, there he is. He's right there. There's only one knot you need to know.
This is one of those classic. You're going to tell me that I'm wrong? Like
the underrated Burly hype man. I didn't even see his name yet. You know what I'm saying?
I already called it out.
I love it.
You're going to tell me that I'm wrong. Like this knot is not the knot that every person used for 60 years to catch every world record fish. And then you're going to be like, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Shut up.
Those were trilene nuts. All right, so underrated for sure. Because I still always do it.
Use it all the time.
There's so many videos. It seems like it was like 5 years ago. Last couple of years, there's been so many videos that are just like, stop tying this knot.
Yeah.
It's clickbait. I mean, like, it works, dude. Works perfect.
Next question.
All right. Leader line.
Underrated.
I love it. Leader line. So we're talking specifically if you want to throw like monofilament, fluorocarbon leader onto braided backer, and like we're pretty much all braid on all our setups at this point. You have one full fluoro, but like most of the setups are braid to fluoro. And once in a blue moon, braid to mono. And usually there's a swivel and it's a Carolina rig. But most of the time, braid to fluoro. And I would say 100% underrated. And like to a detriment of fishermen and women everywhere. Like you need to try it. You need to do it. If you're going straight braid on stuff, you're losing bites. Like you are missing fish. Guaranteed. Leader line is a scam. Big leader. Take down big leader line.
I am very surprised.
I'm a little blown away, but okay.
I'm shocked.
I mean, I guess maybe it depends on where you're fishing. And all right, chat's on our side. I'm interested. Just switched to braid on my spinning. Awesome, Scotty. That's I love that too. Straight fluoro all day. A lot of guys do that. A lot of guys go straight mono. Totally cool. But I'm saying, like, if you got braid and like, because you're already solving the problem we're talking about. Just use regular line for the leader. Oh, I guess maybe I'm misinterpreting that. I'm on board with what he's saying. He's saying if you buy specific leader line, which is kind of like the stretch fluoro from Soft Steel, it is priced up. I agree. Okay, so you use leader. That's what I'm saying. I use regular leader or regular line is my leader. Like these spools, it's like $7. These are in our boat at all. There's 10-pound fluoro right there. Yeah. So like I pull off 4 to 6 feet, whatever. Like a wingspan for me is like 6.5. So if I pull a wingspan, cut that off, that's my new leader. It'll last me like 2 weeks, and then I just tie a new leader. So yes, never mind. Not a hot take, but yeah, that's what we're talking about. Regular line, bro. It's a good take. It's definitely a good take. I'm with you. Cool. Close one. All right. We got fishing super early. Hard overrated. Totally overrated. Not worth it, in my opinion, at all. I love my sleep.
Disagree.
It's overrated.
Well, it's underrated.
It's just what your dad and grandpa told you had to do. You don't have to do it to catch fish.
Not. No, it's not.
It is.
No,
you don't have to do it to catch fish.
No, I know that. I'm not saying you have to. It's better.
You don't have to do it, and you'll be happy. Disagree.
It's
overrated.
Better fishing.
I've had amazing fishing midday, but
you
not saying that's the best time.
Early enough to even say that.
Yeah, and I never will.
Your opinion's trash.
You're overrated. Your opinion's overrated.
This is so fun.
Look, Chad agrees. 59% overrated. What's up?
It just dropped.
Nope. I win. This is fun. You're right. I love this show. Okay.
Uneducated audience.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right.
You just went from underrated to severely overrated. Fired from the show.
Continue. Next question.
I'll see myself out. All right. So next up is night fishing.
Overrated.
Night fishing. Overrated, he says.
That doesn't mean it's not great, but it's overrated.
Okay. Yeah, it's like when
a lot of work. It's a lot of work to do.
It is a lot of work. I would say overrated because it can be a total freaking nightmare, especially if you're out on the kayak. Just this sheer amount of stuff you can't see. Even if you get the LEDs, which we don't have, but we want, but like headlamps equals mosquitoes on your face. Like literally every bug is on your face. You got to turn off your lamp. Then you're in complete darkness. It's cool. It's cool. Where is my stuff?
People should do it more often. But people make it sound like it's the best way to fish. And people will make it sound like it's the only way to catch big fish or whatever. And I'm like, it's overrated.
I don't underrated, you guys say. Interesting. I don't know. I guess I'd have to do it with the right like type of guide. Like somebody who could be like, I got you, let's do this, and we'll do it right. Versus just me bumbling around. I don't know.
It's a lot more work, and it's just like everything else. It can be great, it cannot be great. So
This one's for Chaz. Chaz, Bud Light.
Can Bud Light possibly be underrated?
Overrated or underrated? He says correct answer is overrated on the Bud Light. Interesting. I want to know where chat stands on these dad pops.
I do too, actually.
So Bud Light to me, overrated. 100%. So many better beers.
Whoa.
Oh,
What?
you didn't know that was coming?
Yeah, no, I didn't.
Wow. All right. I will say, if you were to ask me what kind of beer do you want, I'd probably say a cold one. However, given the choice, I just feel like it's a bit overrated.
But are you drinking one, or are you going to drink 14?
I see where you're coming from.
It has its place.
I see.
To
Yeah,
say
you're
that
right.
it doesn't have its place is insane. Hey, would you like to have 93 porters this 95-degree afternoon? No, I would not. Thank you.
Or would you like the exact same pale ale that is 1% alcohol more, but is $20 more per case?
But will let me enjoy my day and just go ahead and freaking
Still overrated. Still overrated.
It's overrated. It can't possibly be underrated. Everyone says it's like the best beer in the world or whatever. I'm like, oh, it's fine. It's a good day drinking beer, but otherwise, yeah, it's overrated.
See, Rob says it's the boat beer.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong. Oh, it's a good it's good.
Yep.
It's
I see Natty, Miller.
Yeah, if you're picking Natty over Bud Light, you're just trying to make a statement.
Dual rules.
All right, the rails.
Dual rule. I love
it's a great shotgun beer. I don't want a shotgun and oatmeal.
It's a shotgun beer. All right, there's two more. There's two more, and then we're getting into the giveaway. Okay, so tungsten weights.
Overrated.
Oh no, he said it. Oh no.
They're great, and I will always use them, but they're overrated.
They're making things tungsten that really don't make that much of a difference.
And I think the marketing has made people think that it's going to make you a better fisherman.
Look at Ned Rig.
They're better, but
I have 30 tungsten Ned rigs that I will never use because my normal Ned rigs are totally fine. There's no reason. No, it doesn't make a difference. It really doesn't with lead. Because
Drop shot and Ned Rig are the two where I actually think feel like I'm getting the most benefit.
I'd say drop shot maybe. I just don't feel the difference on the Ned Rig, and I'd argue with anybody who says that they do, especially if it's you.
I do, yeah. Mostly it's you. I do. I think where there's no benefit is when the weights get larger. So after you get a half ounce, a half ounce and larger.
I agree.
There's no difference in size. There's almost no difference in size.
Yep.
When you get down to the 1/16ths and stuff, they're so tiny in middle school, it's actually I think a benefit. Mm-hmm. And I would prefer to have the tungsten. But I think a quarter to a half, great argument to be made. I said overrated. I said overrated.
Oh,
but I think those are the two places where I think I get the most benefit is the skinny drop shot. And the Ned Rig are the two where I'm I'll pay for the tungsten.
Yeah, blind eye, small weight size. That's what Paul's saying. I totly agree.
Otherwise,
sensitivity difference. Yeah,
the shaky heads, it's overrated. The belly weighted hooks, overrated.
See, you think the shaky head's overrated, but not the Ned
because it's bigger. I'm usually using the smallest shaky
Ned
head.
Needs to be one size. It's the diameter of the worm that you use. I don't want it to be smaller. You know what I mean?
No, but it's not. The diameter is small. The whole head is smaller. And
so you're talking about the head.
Yeah, the whole head is smaller. The 1/6 tungsten woo is the best. That's the best thing going. But the Gamakatsu hook, that's the number one thing I would want to be tungsten at all times.
I like the lead more still. All right. Anyways, let's go to the last one. Net. A net. Never heard of her.
Definitely underrated.
So, if you ever lost a fish because you didn't use a net, which Paul and I have,
yes.
you should probably use a net.
And then there's the guys who are going to be like, well, if you're a tournament guy, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm not a tournament guy. I don't have this dumb rule that says I can't use a net. The rule makes no sense to me. doesn't.
You mean
Makes
like a
no
big
sense.
bass tourney? Because in kayak tourneys, you use them all the time.
I know.
That's like a
because-
go-to in kayak tourneys.
Exactly. Like,
Yeah.
there's no reason to have a stupid rule that you like have to grab the. It doesn't make any sense.
Underrated. Absolutely underrated. Especially when you're catching pike a lot of the time. All right, so we're gonna roll into slow rolling thunder, but we do have a super chat from our boy Army Outdoors 88, and we got Ralph here. It says, "What's up, fellas? Just got home from fishing. Oh, super jealous. Getting ready for my first tournament this Saturday on the lake on the base. The fishing was tough, all flats and grass and submerged trees, no structure. That's you mean variable depth changes and stuff? You got grass and submerged trees, man. Fish that stuff. See wood, pitch to wood. Listen to Debo. But anyways, man, good luck on your tournament. I think you're going to do great. You got this. You're going to crush it. And thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you, bro.
Brother. Those are good vibes headed your way.
So, what did you say? You're sending him a box?
Those are good vibes headed Army Outdoors.
Good vibes. Got you. I was like, what? You sending things? If he wins, we will. If you win, Ralph, I'll send you a box of stuff. There you go. Now the stakes have been raised. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to run our giveaway here real soon. We've got 5 off-topic over-unders. We're going to continue the polls, but you got to chat. You got to say something in chat. And if any of your nerd brethren have left the show for whatever reason, call their butts back in here. Like, let's have some fun. We got a giveaway coming up. We're going to be sending you a $25 gift card to monsterbass.com. Good for everything except for the subscription. And it's a whole tackle store, guys. So there's plenty of stuff on there. There's also gear on there. There is no Burly fishing apparel, and we'll have to change that at some point because we sold out. Yeah, it's been out for like, I don't know, 3 months.
Forever.
Somebody should probably do something about that. I don't know.
We could design another shirt and have them
say,
Rick,
we
actually
help.
One. We could do the nerd shirt on the site.
We could do the nerd shirt. Should we blow up the nerd shirt and put it on?
We should put the nerd shirt on the site.
All right, done deal. We'll work it out, you guys. Don't worry. Nedrig nerd shirt now available at monsterbass.com. As in now,
I think it's a really good idea. Actually,
6 months from now, it'll be there. We'll tell you guys once it happens. We're gonna figure that out. All right. So Joshua Simpson would like to let us know that he's leaving for an 18-day long fishing trip on the coast of California. Wish me luck using my kayak. For the first time on the sea. Please be safe.
please have fun.
Please have a blast. Please
Don't
be safe.
listen to Big Safety.
No. What? All right, we're getting a slow rolling thunder. Oh no. So many. Paul's actually against everything. 3. Okay, Charles is gonna go yell at his roommates.
Rolling thunder.
Unmute your. Oh, what question are we doing? I want to hear you yell at your roommates. All right. So here's the question that we're starting out with. IPAs. IPA beverages. Are they over or under? Where are my hippie guys at?
Incredibly obvious to me.
Where are my hipsters at? Come on now. Overrated instantly.
Overrated, dude. They're overrated.
Okay. Wow.
It's not that they're not good.
93.7. You guys, that is the most disproportionate one that we've had. That is 91 now. 91.9.
The P in IPA stands for P.
This is our famous India PP ale. It's delicious.
The IPP in your ale. Oh gosh, they are.
I had a feeling. Everybody was going to be on that boat.
It's not that they're not good. It's not that they're not good, but to sit here and be like, you drink a Bud Light, you've never had a taste bud. Like, it's not. You're wrong.
I would, because I would say, like, craft beer wise, IPAs are like. It's like the beer that your dad would be like, oh, you gotta earn your taste. Like, it's just so bitter. So
They're
bitter.
good.
Most people.
I like IPAs.
I like them.
Doesn't matter.
Draft versus can or bottle.
Better.
I'd
That's
agree.
kind of a question is that. If you ever get the choice and you choose bottle, if you're not walking around like a party or whatever, like, you always choose draft. Draft is better. Everybody knows. Like,
Here was a sad moment when I flew back from West Palm Beach. I had to go to LaGuardia for my layover, and
End of the story.
the end. Yeah, I mean that could be because it's a terrible airport. I hate it so
Exactly.
much. I've been there so many times, but they had like a really nice bar. They had a full line of taps. They were all turned off, and they weren't using taps. Bottles only, baby.
Fine, I'm fine with a bottle, but like, okay,
Nope.
37
Not for
votes for one of the
$30.
highest voted items, 91%
Wow.
overrated.
Everybody came out to bat for IPAs. I freaking love it. A bat against IPAs.
Again, they're literally striking IPAs out.
Gone. Removed from everyone's vocabulary. The letters I, P, and A, but mostly together. All right. So the next one is belts. Belts. Why didn't you say this one? Paul threw this one out randomly. So
I don't know where this came from, but I will say
the belt.
I will say the belt is underrated.
So why is this the most ridiculous one to me? Underrated, chat. Wow. See, I was
the vehement underrated.
I'm a little surprised.
Take it back.
I'm a little surprised. Wow.
Underrated.
Okay. I was gonna say this would be another cop out for me. They're like perfectly rated.
No.
Like, I would not say over, and I would not necessarily say under as vehemently as you are.
How many times do you put on a pair of jeans and you're like, no belt, moving on?
Never actually. I never wear a belt.
Oh, really?
Never.
What?
Never wear a belt.
Oh my god.
Nope. Yeah. It's
You're a psycho. I've been hanging out with a lunatic this whole time.
Whole time. Never worn a belt. I wear suspenders only. I wear pants that just fit perfectly. Like I don't.
No, man, gotta have the belt.
I got my booty holds my pants up, double kicked up, dude. A cummerbund.
I am absolutely. I am cake to the max, and I still run the belt all time.
Oh man, you know what? The only reason I like a belt is dress up times, obviously, because you can look terrible without one. It's a necessity.
Friggin' weirdo without a belt. It is amazing. It really is weird to see. Like I will know. Like
dress pants.
You ever seen people who are like very stylish and they're not wearing a belt? I'm like, that was not. You didn't.
No, because that's when it's necessary. I'm saying just casual wear around my house.
Belt.
I'm not wearing a belt.
I've had the same belt since.
I'm the weird one.
2009.
Okay, I'm the crazy guy. All right, anyways. Movie theaters. And we're going to start rolling our giveaway with this one. So, movie theaters. Are they or underrated?
I think they're overrated.
Overrated.
They're great.
No
I like
questions asked.
Sometimes I think it's overrated, yeah.
Overrated. You think I want to be around? Here's the problem. I don't want to be around other people when they can do whatever they want. They can be loud. They can ruin the movie that I just spent $40 to take myself to. And let alone if I bring anybody else, my family, and then my kids cry, and then they got to go to the bathroom. Then you got to go to the bathroom, and you can't pause.
But going to a movie theater like alone.
Dalton Miller has what?
Question?
Oh, he won? You already rolled it? You're still voting? All right, Dalton Miller, you won. He just said CCW is necessary. For a belt. We're going back to the belt. I got it. Anyways, so Dalton, you and your CCW, you won the giveaway. So tell us you're here. Tell us you exist. And we will confirm things here. I'm waiting until I hear from you. So movie theaters.
Going to the movie theater though alone is wonderful.
All right, that would be a different question. That would be like going to the movie theater alone. Underrated. Because I don't want to deal with anybody else.
And you know what else is underrated? Going to 2 movies at a time. Like
what?
Buying a movie ticket, a ticket to go see a movie
at the same time.
And then, no, let me finish. Like you're gonna go out to the movie theater, usually watch one movie, and then I think the next one. You get a movie ticket, you watch the movie, and then you get a ticket for like another movie right after that.
Okay.
Very underrated. When's the last time you did it? When's the last time you've done it?
I've never done that.
I've done that. I used to on when I lived alone in Minnesota, in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
I would take the tram to Mall of America
Yeah.
the day after rugby. So I would wake up late. I would be like, just like brutalized, right, from
Yeah.
like a sevens tournament, sunburned, dead.
Okay,
I would
time out because you have a great story, but Dalton Miller is here. So Dalton, make sure that I hear you. I know you're here. We're gonna finish Paul's story, but if you could send us confirmation of your YouTube account so we can see that it's really you, you can just email podcast@burlyfishing.com. Then we'll have your email and I will send you over a $25 gift card. So continue, Paul. Sorry, I wanted to make sure he felt heard.
you get wrecked. You wake up.
Yep.
You wake up late. You sleep in.
Mhm.
You have yourself a big breakfast. You take the tram. You walk to the tram. Take it to the movie theater. It takes like 20 minutes. You already order both your tickets. It'll be
Mhm.
like noon, 10 o'clock noon. So you get the matinee price.
Yep.
Two tickets. You sit in like this monstrous theater that has like the individual seating. You pay like the extra $7 for the fancy one. You get a gigantic. It's like hot, humid. You go into the air-conditioned theater. There's no one else in there because it's 10 o'clock and you're going to see like Avengers 1 or something. You get the gigantic extra ice Coke Lime with 2 hot dogs
Dude's got
and
plays.
a giant popcorn. And then you sit down in that wonderful air conditioning and you just watch 2 movies straight. And it is like the most real. It is like, it's very zen. I would highly recommend it.
Wow. Okay. So that's a different question. So it's really underrated going by yourself and doing what Paul just said. Underrated Burly hype man. Can we get this man a box? He sent us a box. You know what? That's it. He said, so I've come to realize I will never win because that's not why I'm here. So let's go, other folks. You know, we're just going to send you something, dude.
Yeah.
You
send them one right now.
Chaz, put him on the list, please, sir.
Yeah.
All right. And then we're gonna vote on this last one. Which one should we do, Paul?
Oh, I love this one. No.
The last one?
The next one.
Yeah, this one. Okay. So, Chaz, we're gonna do that last one on the page. Yeah. That one. Okay. So, closing the show out. Here we go. You guys ready for this? How do we feel about phone, smartwatch, and apparently Garmin Panoptix display alerts? How do you feel about that badge and that buzz that just like, oh, somebody liked one of your Instagram posts, or that aunt you never talked to liked your Facebook post, or whatever. Just random alerts. How do we feel about that? I'm going hella overrated.
Way overrated.
I feel like
could not be more overrated.
Science ruined something there. I feel like we all wanted to be more like engaged with one another. Like we wanted to be more commingling and like knowing what's going on with everybody's life. But when we had it, we were like Paul, and we deleted our Facebook. The rest of us didn't, but Paul did because he's a smart person. Did. But
and then my Twitter.
Like I don't want those alerts. There's so many things I don't want, because then you get like sucked. You get your Instagram alert, and they're like, oh, let me check my Instagram. And they're like, oh, how's that last reel I had do? And like you looking at it doesn't help it, but you're just like, oh, it's at 125 views. Oh, it's at 1,000 views. This is 1,001.
And you know what's crazy?
It's so frustrating.
Crazy? You know what's insane too? When you finally forget about it, and you like don't check, your phone or whatever, your alerts or whatever for like, 5 hours. It's the same amount of information. You've not missed a darn thing. Like,
so Big John makes he's pulling out big moves here. You can turn off alerts.
Oh, what?
Big John.
Wow.
Totally agree. It's complicated. I rock do not disturb.
Alerts are all silenced.
Yeah, I do rock do not disturb as much as I can. But then like it always seems like, oh, why didn't you pick up the call? Like I'm dealing with a car dealership right now because I got to renew my lease and get a different car or a different truck. And then, it's like, what if my wife needs me? And honestly, it's like off or on, there's an anxiety there, and that's instilled by society. Down with big tech. What else are we going to take down?
Down with social anxiety. Big social anxiety.
Thank you. Down with big social anxiety. That's a perfect one. Another cause. You know how many like 501(c)(3)s we have, you guys? Like, you should pay attention. So
What was the
many.
insane one that we had. I don't even remember anymore. I'm gonna have to go back. All right.
We did it. We did another show, you guys. And look, you agreed. Alerts are overrated, 87%. Almost as strongly as you felt about IPAs. You guys are awesome. And I learned a lot about y'all today. This has been fun. And I think we'll do it again some other time. And we'll probably bring on a guest for it. So next week, we're going to find a guest, right, Paul? We're going to get somebody on this show.
Yes.
Yeah, cool. We're going to find a guest, you guys, and it's going to be a lot of fun because they're probably going to be a really great guest, or they're going to be Debo. And
we'll see you on Tuesday, 5/17.
So Tuesday, May 17th, y'all, same place, same time, different day, but Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. If you guys are a member, members only live will be Tuesday the 17th. Was that? Yes. Thank you, Chaz, for that reminder. So Shark Deuce level or higher, in case you don't get the invite. That's why. If you're Burly Elite for $3, you can bump up to the Shark Deuce level, and we appreciate y'all for supporting the show. But we'll have a blast. And if you're a Snorlax crew member, we'll bring you on camera. Chaz, I love you, dude. Underrated. It's just reminding me of everything I forget all the time. So yeah, if you're a Snorlax crew member, we'll bring you on camera, man. We'll hang out. We do it all the time. It's the Brady Bunch. It's a blast. You guys should be there. And then again, if you're a Snorlax member, you get that shirt. It's we talked about it last time, didn't we?
We did.
Flip around and find out. And it's a black and blue jig. It's gonna be dope. But we're gonna show the members only crew. So if you want to be there, you can see it. Be there. All right, guys. That's all we got for you. So like, subscribe, do all the cool stuff, blah, blah, blah. But mostly share the show with people that you know that like fishing or think they like fishing, or just like two nerds talking about fun stuff and going off the rails constantly, because I'd love to. We had a good push a little while back where we got this over 100 views or over 100 viewers at one time. That was really cool. Like, we had a lot of people in chat. So I'd love to get it back to that point. There's no reason we can't just compete with Alex Rudd size, podcast or Smallmouth Crush or any of those nerds. We can do the same thing. So help us out. You guys are awesome. Let's do that. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. You're much appreciated. Much love. You are underrated, chat. And we'll see you next week. All right, Chaz, take us out.
Took a swing at a wrecking ball and I prayed for my downfall, and I found a way to reconcile, 'cause in my heart it's not worthwhile. It's a bloody battlefield where sun go down, others heal. In the end it's all the same. All you can do is play the game. Oh, do we say goodbye? Refuse to question.